Major international news outlets also broke the news of Lee Jae-myung's election as South Korea's 21st president in breaking news reports. They focused on his personal background, political journey, and the key challenges he faces ahead.
해외 주요 언론들이 제21대 이재명 대통령의 당선 소식을 긴급 뉴스로 전하며 그의 삶과 정치 여정, 앞으로의 과제 등을 집중 조명했습니다. Okay. So there has been a lot of reports. And yes, I was looking at a variety of news outlets, and they all had something, an article about the Korean election. So what were some of the things that they said?
So some of the things they said were 6 months of political chaos ends. 6개월 정치 혼란 마침표. The New York Times talked about the strongest president in decades. 수십 년 만에 가장 강력한 대통령. Some other news outlets talked about this making the relationship between China and the U.S. more complicated. And then in Japanese news, the relationships between Korea and Japan also being a little unclear. 네, 한일 관계 전망 어려워진다. 이런 말 나왔습니다.
Right. So it seems that these news outlets, depending on which country they're from, has a little bit of a different perspective because they want to know how this relationship can move forward.
Yes.
Yeah?
So, yeah, it is a mixed bag, we say. Reactions, some very optimistic.
Yeah.
Other countries, maybe not as optimistic in their view of this election. But yes, I think it is interesting that it did happen in breaking news. 긴급 뉴스로 많이 나왔잖아요. It just shows how important the Korean economy and Korean politics has become important all over the world.
Absolutely. And I have to say, Lee Jae-myung has been getting a lot of coverage regarding his personal background, his history. They talk about, and it is true, his story is a very unique one. He was a child laborer, later became a human rights lawyer. He, grew up with very little money. And so it is one of those things where, you go from poor circumstances and you rise to being the president. That's quite a story.
Yeah. So like you said, a former child laborer, 네, 소년공 출신이었다가 인권 변호사까지 일했던 네, 이재명 대통령이 되게 해외 뉴스에서도 많이 이슈 좀 짚혔던 얘기죠.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so it was definitely talked about not just in the more what does this mean for our country, but really trying to tell the story of where this man came from.
Yeah. So whether, whatever political leanings you have regarding his personal story, it is something to be told.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Okay. All right. And we just talked about this expression, personal background. So a personal background is basically kind of like your personal story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your behind this story.
Behind the story, yeah. Your life story, education, work experience. And so they focused on that. And this outlet, we have this word, news outlets. So we have newsroom, news outlets. What's the difference between the two?
So I think if you think of the newsroom as an actual room, so like an office, where the reporters are, where they're working on the news. However, news outlet feels more like you're talking about the company, the organization that does the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
So the outlet is more of the company. The newsroom is
It's the actual room.
진짜 그 사무실, 그 방.
거기서 기사 쓰고.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. All right, major international news outlets also broke the news of Lee Jae-myung's election as South Korea's 21st president in breaking news reports. They focused on his personal background, political journey, and the key challenges he faces ahead.